Hey guys, Eric here with Hollywood Impact, and I am going to give you my review of Mel Gibson's latest film, Flight Risk. Film's got pretty mixed reviews, mainly towards the negative side. I'm going to give you my take, and as always, whenever we give our takes, we base it on categories. So we've got performances, story, music, visual, and then the impact, which is where we kind of give our own personal thoughts or random things about the film and tell you about it. So let's start off with the performances. It's got a pretty short cast. We got Mark Wahlberg, Michelle Dockery, and Topher Grace. I want to start with Mark Wahlberg. I'm a big Mark Wahlberg fan. He is a menace in this film. He really is. He plays this, that's no spoiler, it's in the trailers. He's the bad guy. And he's a crazy psycho assassin hitman pilot, and he goes all in with it. Physically, as he's done in other films, he commits physically to the roles. I remember Pain and Gain, he got real jacked for that movie. I'm not sure if he gained the weight for Father Stu, but he sure looked like he did. But he, shaves his head for this film, goes all in with the accents. He's a little bit over the top. I think that's intentional. I think that's part of it. But I think he does a really good job. He really sticks out in this film, and he's a lot better than what he's been in some of his straight to Netflix type movies he's done. But he's awesome in this one. The other two in the cast, Michelle Dockery, she plays a U.S. Marshal that is picking up Topher Grace. Topher is an accountant for the mob. She tracks him down in Alaska and got to bring him back so he can testify. I wasn't really familiar with Michelle before this. Apparently she was in Downton Abbey, which surprised her. I've not seen anything there, but she did fine. Topher Grace was Topher Grace, no surprise there. But with the performances themselves, early on, I felt myself recasting those two characters. I imagined Kobe Smulders playing the U.S. Marshal and Sam Rockwell playing the mob accountant. I don't know why. That's just where my mind went when I was watching it. Overall, good performances, not super great. Mark Wahlberg definitely a standout in this film. Let's move on to the story. It is a pretty unique story in that it's basically set in this small airplane. The whole movie is just in this airplane where you've got a U.S. Marshal transporting a bad guy, but you also have the pilot that's also a bad guy too. So it is a unique premise, nothing crazy or anything. I don't know that they wrap it up the way I would have liked it. Again, it's fine. I like the story. Not really much else to say about that. Moving on to the music. Very little to say about the music in this film. Not really a score that I can remember. Not much of a soundtrack at all. So I'm going to go right into visuals. The visuals themselves, there were three things that kind of stood out for me that I thought was neat. One is there's a scene where she has to fly the airplane through like this snow bluff, and it just looked really cool when that happened. It's pretty brief, not very long. Did look cool though. Another scene where Mark Wahlberg's character is trying to get free from handcuffs, and it goes into pretty good graphic detail about what that would look like, but it looked really cool. And then the third thing was kind of the climax of the film. Spoiler alert, yeah, they do have to land the plane, and they do it at night, and it's a night landing. It wasn't necessarily a smooth landing, but just the way Gibson kind of directed that, I just thought it was really cool. So the visuals, that's really what stuck out for me. The last category, kind of the impact, kind of some of my personal takes on the film. So number one, I may have got my expectations too high for this film going into it. I think Mel Gibson is an incredible filmmaker. He's made some really, really good movies. Braveheart, Passion of the Christ. I mean, I'm talking great movies. So I was really excited to see him and Wahlberg together, because Mark Wahlberg, this dude is like 2 years older than me. He's my spirit animal. I kind of like want to be like this dude. He's just awesome. And I think I let that get me too excited about this film, because for me it was almost like a roller coaster. I was here whenever I went into the theater to watch it, really excited about it, And then as it started going, that's when my mind went to recasting it. And I'm like, okay, so what are we doing? And then I did warm up to those characters later on. And then to the climax of it, you know, I was back into it. I mean, it's a thrill ride. It's fun to watch, but, you know, there's not too much to really overthink about it. So then when we get to the end, and it just ends. It's a pretty abrupt ending. Some of the things that kind of stuck out that bothered me a little bit is there's times when the U.S. Marshal is communicating on the phone with people on the ground. You know, she's got this guy that's helping her fly the plane. She's got her immediate supervisor. And then she's also got like the director of the Marshal Service or something. And the dialogue between them did not seem like it would be the real dialogue in that situation. It just seemed off. It seemed off enough that I thought about it while I was watching it. So that was just some things that didn't necessarily work for me. But again, this is just an action. It's an easy breezy 90 minutes. It's a fun ride, but there's not a whole lot to really expect. You know, don't expect too much with this. Would I rewatch it? I'm an older guy, so I kind of give it the DVD test. You know, when I was a kid and I would watch a movie, and if I really liked it, I would leave and I'd be like, bro, I cannot wait till I get the DVD on this. Would I buy this DVD today? Probably not. Would I rent it? If there's nothing else I wanted to watch, I would probably rent it. So I would probably stream it and watch it again, maybe, if there was just nothing else I wanted to watch. But it was a good time the first time and probably the only time. So to rate this movie, I'm not going to be as harsh as some of the critics. I did have fun watching it. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Again, it's fun. Lots of good action. Wahlberg's crazy. But it's nothing that I'm going to really encourage people to go spend money on to go see, nor am I going to go see it again either. So, guys, that's what I think. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if I'm way off, what other movies you'd like to see us do, or anything in general. Guys, I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Bye.